Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Codi, and welcome our guest, Pittsburgh Tribune sports writer, one of the best around, and Pitt football and basketball insider, Jerry DePaula. Jerry, I'm going to ask you, back in September, did you see this Pitt football season coming and ACC champs?
Well, a lot of people were asking my predictions before the season, Ed, and I was thinking a pretty typical Pitt season, and I thought it was going to be maybe a little bit better than some of them. 8-4 was my prediction. So I was a little bit off there. They're now 11-2 after winning the ACC championship with an opportunity to win 12 games when they play Michigan State in the Peach Bowl on December 30th. It's a credit to Pat Narduzzi keeping some of these super seniors around. I mean, there's a lot of talk about transfers and guys entering the portal, but the main guys, the main seniors on Pitt's team came back. 13 of them came back, including Kenny Pickett, of course. But that linebacker core, all those super seniors, John Patrician, 25-year-old, seventh-year senior, transferred from Penn State and went to Central Catholic, had a great season when he probably wouldn't have been able to do that if he decided to go elsewhere or decided football wasn't for him. Cam Brightwood had a great season at linebacker. Phil Campbell had a great season at linebacker. All these guys, experienced guys. And when you build your program, I think you want to build it with experience, and that's what Pat Narduzzi did. He was able to keep these guys around. And a lot of times it doesn't happen in a lot of programs, but it did happen at Pitt.
But Jerry, you mentioned giving Pat Narduzzi credit. I've been critical of his defense against good offensive teams. I am going to give him credit. I think against Wake Forest, against the top flight, one of the best offenses in the country, I think he did his best defensive job. What did you see there?
Yeah, I've been critical of Pat Narduzzi in the past, and I've mentioned to him, why don't you give your cornerback some help with those safeties? He refuses to do that. His thing is stopping the run first, and those safeties are looking to stop the run before anything else. And the corners are recruited in a way, guys who thrive on one-on-one confrontations, guys who are good at one-on-one confrontations. Some of them over the years have been better than others. This year's group hasn't been too bad. They did run into some problems at Western Michigan. They ran into some problems at Miami. It's not a perfect team. It's not a perfect system. But they came through against Wake Forest, and the pass rush has been very good. Probably one of the guys that we don't talk about a whole lot is my friend from Italy, Habakkuk Baldonado. Every time I see him, I tell him buongiorno, and he gives me a big smile and a handshake. He had a great season at defensive end. Big, tough guy. Looks like could be an NFL player someday. Hopefully he won't go too early because Pitt's going to need him coming back next year. But he had 8.5 sacks, I believe, and did have a fine season. And they put some pressure on the quarterback, and they put some pressure on the Wake Forest quarterback the other day, which really helped because it gives those cornerbacks an opportunity to stick with those receivers and to play good pass defense. It all works hand in hand. The pass rush helps the secondary helps the pass rush.
Hey Jerry, now 11 wins, 10 wins, most in the regular season since 1981, and 11 wins when they had that streak in 79 to 81, 3 straight 11-win seasons, not one win away from tying the 76 national champs with 12 wins. But the elephant in the room is this: does Kenny Pickett play against Michigan State in the Peach Bowl?
Well, he said he was in this. First of all, after the game, after the ACC championship game, he was asked that very question. And he said, in a very succinct and matter-of-fact way, I plan to play in the bowl game. That was all he said. He said he planned to play. He didn't say, yeah, I'm playing. I'm absolutely playing. So it changed. Plans change. Now, that's not saying he's not going to play. He hasn't made up his mind yet. He said during the Heisman Trophy weekend a couple of different times. I know he talked to a TV station Friday night. He said he was undecided. RG3 asked him on the set Saturday night on the ESPN set right before the announcement was made if he's coming back. And he laughed and said He still hasn't decided yet. That was
Jerry, he may be looking as a first round pick. There'd be $20 million sitting there
well,
on the table.
it's a lottery ticket in his pocket, and you don't want to tear it up
I would
with an
think
injury.
he should not play. That would be my interpretation.
Well,
I'm going to tell him, you get all this money, an injury, you're going to go maybe third round. Jalen Smith from Notre Dame, that happened to him. He lost a ton of money.
It's a personal decision, and I think Kenny and his family will sit down and discuss, or have sat down and talked about it, and I'm sure but by the end of the week, this is Tuesday. By the end of the week, I think he's going to make his mind up. I'm going down to a news conference right now at Pitt later this morning, and who knows, maybe there'll be a decision made then. So at this point, you don't really know. But I'm old school, Ed, and I think when you start something, you should finish it. And he started something back in 2017 with his team. He came back this year, wanted to do it an ACC championship.
Coaches too who don't finish.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But
they preach to the players this loyalty and sticking with it, and then they turn around the first time someone offers them more money, they're gone.
Two wrongs don't make a right, in my opinion. Just because some other coach has done it, just because Todd Graham did it, just because Brian Kelly did it, it doesn't mean that Kenny Pickett should do it. But it's a personal decision. If he does that, I respect it and I give him, all the props. He had a great season. One thing I think about it, he played in the Syracuse game. They already had clinched the ACC championship at that point. They had nothing to gain from winning that game except for another win. And they have nothing to gain from the Peach Bowl except another win against a more high-profile opponent. And now, as far as the NFL goes, if he plays in the Peach Bowl, and even if he plays well, which I think he will because Michigan State has a horrible pass defense, if he plays and he plays well, the NFL is not going to say, "Oh, wow, Kenny Pickett, just threw 5 touchdown passes against Michigan State. We got to draft him number 1." They've already made up their mind on
matter
Pickett.
Of him staying healthy.
Yeah, and what happens after the Peach Bowl is going to be important. The Senior Bowl, the Combine, all the personal workouts, all the interviews he's going to have with NFL executives and scouts. Those are going to matter much more than whatever happens in the Peach Bowl. And if he plays in the Peach Bowl, I pray to God he doesn't get hurt. But hey, Jerry, I hope he plays.
Where does Pitt go after Pickett? What do you see? Can Pitt be a perennial? I'm not talking top 10. They might have made top 10 had they beaten Western Michigan. Can they be a perennial top 25? What's in place here that encourages you that we'll have more 9-10 win seasons in a row? To me, you don't have a great program until you have 3 or 4 straight seasons of top 25.
That's true. You're right. And they could be top 10 this year if they win the bowl game, actually, but that's another issue. They have some pieces coming back on defense, and they've recruited well over the last couple years. This year's recruiting class, is smaller because of all the super seniors they had. They don't have as many scholarships available to give. But he started the culture at Pitt, and if he can keep some of these players, Jordan Addison's coming back for another season for his 3rd and final season at Pitt, I'm sure, in 2022. They have to find an offensive coordinator. And I think if he promotes Brendan Marion, the Greensburg-Salem product, who is the wide receivers coach this year, if they promote him, I think that'll help maybe, keep the wide receivers happy and keep everybody on board. But I think the program, I don't know if they're going to win 11 games every year like Jackie Sherrill did, 40 years ago. But I really believe that they're going to be a competitive team in the ACC, going forward.
Hey, Jerry, in our final couple minutes here, I have to ask you, this Pitt basketball program going in the wrong direction, 3-7 on the night that they played Vanderbilt and the women played Louisville. Fitzgerald Fieldhouse for the volleyball game, deservedly so, because you have a Pitt women's volleyball team headed to the Final Four, was jam-packed, and there were a ton of empty seats at the Pete for the basketball game. This has to be of concern to Heather Light and the athletic administration.
I'm sure it is. In the 3-7 record after the first 10 games, going into the St. John's game on Saturday night at Saturday afternoon at Madison Square Garden, has to be a concern too. I mean, the empty seats are one thing, but the fact that the basketball team has already lost 3 games to mid-major teams, 3 bye games when you pay the team to come in and they end up beating you. It's happened 3 times already this season, and that's not good. I thought maybe they turned the corner when they had played tough games against Minnesota and Virginia and only lost by a point and only lost on baskets at the end of the game. But then they go ahead and they lose to Monmouth the other night. after going almost 14 minutes in the first half without scoring a field goal. It's almost unbelievable. You go 14 minutes without putting the ball in the basket.
Well, Jerry, this is a conversation we need to have at a later time. I'm not seeing this program making this turnaround. They're headed for their 5th straight losing season. That's something for us to talk about next time. Thanks for joining us. You have a great holiday season, Jerry.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Ellen George. I am back, joined to my right by the Swami, George Abraham, to my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. Under spotlight honors Union AC Valley head football coach Brad Dittman, named the District 9 Small School Coach of the Year. The Falcons finished a season best 9-3. They lost the D9 title game to eventual state champ Red Bank Valley. Great season for them.
You're not kidding. That's awesome.
Putting them together after both programs struggled for years to have a 9-3
Red
season.
Bank wasn't the state champ.
They got beat
Was
the
it
state championship.
Guilfoyle?
Yeah, Guilfoyle
Okay.
beat them. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was the other way around.
Guilfoyle
Okay.
got them.
I'll tell Tuna now. Come on.
Yeah. Wow. You.
Like I cared.
I don't
I'm
know.
just teasing.
I just don't. I
No,
didn't.
that was a great.
I couldn't get the score.
No, it was a great season for
They
them.
little
They
coverage.
played
on
them tough.
21-14. Yeah,
It was
very good game.
21-14.
No, but
That's
I,
right.
mean, I hear that, and that's wonderful. But I'm thinking,
Yes.
well, what about the Red Bank coach?
High school basketball. Top scores, basketball underway. For the boys, Matt McDonough, North Allegheny, 41. Ryan Lang, a knock, 39. It puts him over 1,000 for his career. Joseph Roth, Elwood City, a monster game, 38 points and 35 rebounds.
That's the most rebounds I've ever heard in a game.
Wow.
He's an amazing player for it. Remember, he won the WPL championship leading them last year. Now he's back again year 2.
And Devin Carney, Butler, had games of 36 and 27 points. Butler dominating wins over Latrobe by 26 points, and over Erie Prep, the defending state 5A champs. Butler beat them by 35.
Woo! Maybe they're playing better
70 to
defense.
35.
Best player left too. Cal Horton's
Horton
son
left. I know,
Yeah.
but because
But
Butler
still,
can score.
no, that's a good win.
No.
Yeah.
Butler can really score, Eddie.
Yo, they can
You
score.
know, last year's scores will be 85, 80. They're playing better defense. That's why they score, because they'll keep scoring.
Yes.
With Carney there.
Oh,
You know, so
Absolutely.
so defensively,
He,
get better.
at his pace, he's going to be. He's going to.
He'll bust it.
Be Butler's
Big time.
all-time leading scorer.
Yeah,
He's
easily.
going to pass Morton.
Uh-huh.
Landon Chalmers at AC Valley, 24. Jameson Greco, Seneca Valley, 23. Caden Rainey of Union Reimersburg, 22. Vinnie Clark of Freeport, 20. Tasso Safanos of Mars, 20. For the girls, what a player. She's probably the best in the WPL, unless you know someone better. Corianne Hauser of Rochester, she had 31.
Yeah, Char Valley has about 2 or 3 better.
Did he?
Yeah.
McKenna
once?
Mayer, Butler
Yes.
had 24.
yeah.
Yeah.
Butler lost to Knock.
Butler girls. And the high school boys basketball preseason rankings, last year's records. We won't get into the season rankings till we get into January
Right.
and they're into section play. But here's our preseason rankings: 6A, Butler at the top, followed by Pine Richland, North Hills, Fox Chapel, Upper St. Clair.
I heard North Hills was really good.
They have a 6-7
I heard they're
center.
really
They
good.
have
I
their
heard
2
they-
leading scorers.
I
Hey,
heard
how
back.
about that league? They're
They-
playing 3 times this year.
Are they
No, they
really?
did that last year too.
Yeah. yeah.
Wow.
They did it.
I understand
Because
with the
Central
COVID.
Catholic left.
Yeah, there's not enough teams.
There are not enough
Yeah,
teams.
right.
There's only 5 teams.
How about
so
that?
Butler and North Hills will head up soon here for
That'll be interesting to see what
match
happens,
before
yes.
the end of the year.
Absolutely.
In 5A, it's Laurel Highlands, Newcastle, Mars, Gateway, and Highlands. In 4A, Lincoln Park, Montour, Quaker Valley, Bell Vernon, and North Catholic. In 3A, Elwood City looking for a repeat. Can they do it,
Oh,
Albert?
yes, definitely they can.
Followed by South Allegheny, Shady Side Academy, Aliquippa, and Neshannock. And in 2A, it's Olsh, Stowe Rocks, Winchester, Thurston, Greensburg Central Catholic, Carleton, and Carn City. And in 1A, it's Bishop Canavan, Rochester, Eden Christian Union, and Imani Christian. We'll see what happens with this exciting season underway. Our stories of the week: PIAA High School Football Championships. WPL teams win 4 state titles, starting with 6A. Mount Lebanon goes 15-0, defeating St. Joe Prep 35-17. I think this is Palco's 3rd state title. Prep loaded with sophomores and freshmen, so look out in the coming years. In 5A, in overtime, Penn Trafford 17, Imhotep Charter 14. They were down 14-7 with 4 minutes to go, and they drove the length of the field for the score. I think the coach did a
How many
great job
times have you
calling
said about
plays.
having a kicker?
Yeah,
I watched it, and
he did a great job calling plays, mixing it up.
more importantly, the Philadelphia team snapped the ball over the head twice.
Yeah.
Flat 5 penalties on 1 drive. You know,
That'll do it.
They just beat themselves.
Aliquippa wins their 4th straight title, 34-27 over Bishop McDevitt. They're going to move them into the Big Ten next year. They're getting them out of high school. In 3A, Central Valley 7, Wyomissing nothing, a surprising score. Central Valley 15-0, 27 straight wins, back-to-back state titles.
It wasn't. I talked to the coach. He thought 14-7 would be the score. That's what he predicted to me. Wyomissing beat Southern Columbia, so that's how good you know Wyomissing is.
And Southern Columbia 62, Sarah 25-12. State title for Southern Columbia. Are they going to budge? Are they going to stay right where they are?
No transfers.
Amazing. And in 1A, Bishop Guilfoyle, as you said, 21, Red Bank Valley 14.
Yeah, the same team show up. It's the truth. Yeah. It used to be basketball that was that way. Now it's really
How about 20 times to the state final?
it's a runaway
Central
trade time.
Columbia.
Yeah, 12 state championships.
71 wins. They lost once.
You know, I trust everybody, and George trusts no one. We always kid each other.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Something's going on.
Yeah, I don't care
Yeah,
what.
but-
No, you cannot. You cannot in a public school.
I can't remember. Have they been in a higher ranking down through the years, or have they dropped down?
No,
they've been 2A
No,
the
they've
whole
been the
way.
whole time, and they just. I mean, the
you
scores.
look at that-
The scores of their games. You know, if they were winning 14-7 like Central Valley did, 7-0.
Okay.
They just toy with people like they're not
Right.
even there.
60. This is a good Sarah team.
They beat
This is a Sarah
Farrell.
team
They
that
beat
beat Farrell.
I know.
62, they hung on them. All right, let's go to college football. The Heisman Trophy. Kenny Pickett finishes 3rd with 28 votes. The winner, Bryce Young, Alabama, overwhelming vote getter, 684. Second, defensive end Aiden Hutchison of Michigan with 78. Pickett also picks up the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, and wide receiver Jordan Addison. He's winner of the Bolitnikoff Award as the nation's best receiver.
Yeah, I think even though he won the award,
Yeah.
he's the one who goes under the radar in Pitt history.
Yeah.
They don't talk about him enough.
No, I agree
Except
with you.
Fitzgerald and a couple. You know, I mean, he is unbelievable.
Phenomenal
receiver.
year.
Yes,
Absolutely. And by the way, the Pickett slide, the NCAA has stepped in and said that's over with. That from now on, when a quarterback starts a slide, the whistle blows. That's
They
when
had
the
to.
play's dead.
They had
to prevent injuries to him.
Yeah, exactly. Or somebody's going to kill. Another going to do it on purpose. Yes.
We were talking about
Or
yesterday.
he tears an ACL doing that.
No, the first guy next year that would have tried it would have gotten
Clobbered.
smeared.
The
that's a
defensive
good call.
coordinators were said you get those two guys stopped. He ran right by him. They
You know, I
watched him
saw
win the
that
end
in
zone.
lifetime, but didn't catch what he did at
Amazing,
first.
huh?
Yeah, they froze. They both froze.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd have gotten
Eddie,
it.
I don't want to go past the Heisman. It really means a lot. I used to really follow it closely.
Yeah.
Now I don't even follow it because I know it's on whoever the best team and the quarterback. That's all it is.
Defensive players don't have a chance.
No running backs. No, nobody has a chance.
They
It's
never
either
had a chance
the best
before.
team quarterback. That's
No,
right.
it-
Just,
Eddie.
that's what they should.
The
They should change
days
the
are
award.
the O.J. Simpson and Tony
Oh, yeah,
Dorsett
they're
when
gone.
he knows the words
They're
are
gone.
over.
No, yeah, it's good. Hutchinson's the best player in the country, and I knew he wouldn't win the award.
Now here's the big question: does Pickett or should Pickett play in the Peach Bowl versus?
Those are
Michigan
two different
State?
questions.
Well,
You know what I mean?
true.
should he play and does he play? I don't think he will play, and I think he should stay out.
Well, I'm old-fashioned, so I wanted to play. I think he should play because he has teammates that play with him for 5 years. That's what I feel. But
I understand.
but totally. But I don't think he's going to play.
He's sitting on
I think
$20 million.
Yeah, I think the agents are saying the money means more
Don't
than
do
your
it.
teammates, and that's today's world.
And
It's
we're
today's world.
going to talk about that later. You're going to see more and more players opting out with the playoff expanding.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to get to that.
These minor bowls, those guys aren't playing.
Now, offensive coordinator Mark Whipple resigns. He becomes the offensive coordinator at Nebraska. Do you know what he was making at Pitt? He had to be the lowest paid offensive coordinator in Power 5. He was making $470,000.
Wow.
He's going to get $1 million at Nebraska.
Well, he had to make the move then.
Yeah, no choice.
No,
I was shocked to find that out.
I didn't realize that.
I thought he'd be making $700,000-800,000 a year at Pitt.
I mean, I'm not shocked Scott Frost matched it. He fired his whole offensive staff. They were 3-9, and believe me, that's just one problem they have. Their quarterback left. Too.
Scott Frost has been given a break out there. The Nebraska fans don't blame him. He's still one of their favorite
Yeah,
sons.
'cause he
They
played-
blame poor assistant coaching. That's why he
No.
fired the whole staff, bringing in Whipple and a bunch of other guys to take it over.
That means Pitt's winning season means more to me now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that means the administration's not back. See, everybody, I always thought they were backing him.
Yeah.
Narduzzi. Now I know they weren't. They're playing games.
$400,000 for
You understand?
Now, he makes
Clemson's defensive quarter made $2 million.
Right.
Where are you going to get? Oh, that's a shame.
Narduzzi makes over $4 million, close to $5 million. So how does your coordinator,
And-
who's
and,
had
you know,
$470,000?
Talk a little bit
So,
about
Joe,
him leaving
I
the next morning.
Yeah.
Something was going on there.
Well, I'm convinced. I can't believe anywhere. I'd like to know a Power 5 offensive coordinator making
No.
less than that.
No, not a team that's in the top 20 up in the country. I mean,
Maybe
geez,
the
oh man.
MAC. But no, not
Now,
the
how about
ACC.
Penn State? They go after and they hire Miami coach Manny Diaz as
Yeah.
their defensive coordinator, which is going to give them some diggings into South Florida.
Yeah, some guys are just made to be
Yeah.
great coordinators.
I believe
Yeah.
And he's one of them. He was a great coordinator when he did that.
Yeah.
He was a head coach. He was not good.
Like
That's a
this
great honor.
Venable, we got to see him.
Yeah,
we don't
we don't
have
know.
any proof, but just because he was good as an assistant,
Right.
means
No,
I've
that's
watched
true.
that movie a million
Many
times.
times. Many
Yes.
times.
Yes.
Let's move on to the NFL and Minnesota 36, the Steelers 28, more Lundschmidt and ground chuck. Minnesota jumps out to a 20-0 lead. Delvin Cook with one shoulder rushed for 153 yards in the first half. 205 for the game. The second running back this year to rush for 100 yards in the first half against the Steelers. The Steelers' run defense is their worst in 60 years. Now, Ben leads a comeback, but comebacks in the NFL, when you don't win, it's just another loss. But he put it on his shoulders. I'll give him credit for taking them back. The loss drops the Steelers to 6-1. Now, what were you going to say?
Oh, it's big thought. My big thought on this. When the Steelers drafted Bush, they drafted him to cover passes. They had linebackers never thinking to it, and I'll tell you what was in it. They lost their defensive lineman.
Yeah.
He's lousy against the run. So now you got no line inside, plus him. Blew up. It blew
They moved
up
up for him,
It
too,
blew-
huh?
Oh no, big
Yeah,
time,
moved
because
up.
they needed to cover the pass.
Right.
They thought they had their defensive line covered.
I got you.
And now they don't have that covered. It's just they're just pathetic. That's all.
Here's some things that happened during the game and had me thinking, what are these guys doing? How selfish are they? With Minnesota up 29-0, the Steelers have a third down pass incomplete when Minnesota defensive back Chris Boyd stands over and taunts the Steeler receiver. They get 15 yards. It opens the door. They get down and score and make it 29-7. What? I'd have put him on the bench. I'd have said, sit down, go to the locker room. How you hurt your team, you're thinking only about yourself.
It's a runaway freight train.
Yeah, and then 29-7, the Steelers intercept Kirk Cousins. They run to the end zone celebrating.
I know.
You're losing
It's a
by
joke.
22
Hey, we're
points.
talking about it's the name in the back. They're not playing.
They
for
don't
the
play
name
for
in the
anything.
front.
And Claypool then adds his insult
And that's
to it.
my
Yeah,
next thing.
He's,
You know, he catches that pass for a first
Jeez.
down, and he's putting he's kneeling there. From 40, he runs 14
He did.
seconds off the clock down to
could have
23.
two more plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he made a great catch in the game. He's
I
talented.
didn't say he wasn't a good
But he's
player.
so immature.
Yeah.
He's so immature.
To the nth degree.
He had an unsportsmanlike penalty. He leads all receivers in penalties this year.
But see, he doesn't have the guts.
What does Tomlin do about
Well,
this?
he's not.
No
what
coach.
can he
No
do?
coach. does.
not just
You understand?
Tomlin.
Yeah,
No,
no coach.
no.
I mean, I know Tomlin ain't doing it, but I know no one's doing
That
it.
toothpaste is out of the tube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
You
last,
can't-
it happened
it's
last night
done.
in the Rams game. I counted 13 guys in the game defensively. Now, it was 30-20. It wasn't like it was a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Doing this, and I'm thinking, you stink.
And
How
now
about
that,
this one?
Yeah.
They have nothing to do with it.
the last pass, the Pat Fryermuth, I hear everyone say, he almost holding. Listen, he got crushed. He got
no chance.
I
sandwiched.
put his hand back.
As close as you get.
Yeah, Harrison
Mike Orvin
Smith
called that a drop. I said, he's
dropped.
nuts.
Harrison
He's an
Smith, who weighs 215
Well, no,
pounds,
I was pulling his hand
safety.
Smith made the play that happened.
Smith's a safety, but
Yeah.
he hits like a
That was an
linebacker.
but that was an
Dug
NFL
his
pass.
shoulder.
How about that pass?
That was a-
It was zipped
this
in
much-
between
It was
that
right
much.
there, right there.
That's an NFL
It was just
guy.
great defensive
It
play.
was it was a defensive play.
No one gives the defensive guys any credit on that.
We do, because that's what happened.
Yeah.
If he had time to get the ball and tuck it, and he didn't. He had her here, and he had
And is there any
There was
reason why?
another guy hitting him. One guy was pulling the ball, and the other guy
Is
hit
there
him.
any reason why he's their second highest payer behind Kirk Cousins?
Absolutely.
Yes.
No.
Hey, the Steelers defense, they give up nearly 25 points a game. They're just terrible against the run. They got a lot of problems we're going to talk about later in another show about the draft coming up and what fixes they need. Hey, Cleveland 24, Baltimore 22. Lamar Jackson leaves with an ankle injury, but how about backup Tyler Huntley? He leads a comeback. They were down 24-3. He was 27-38, 270 yards, a TD, no interceptions, 6 carries, 45 yards rushing. Is he a better passer than Lamar?
Oh, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
Not a better player, George.
Better
but
passer.
But
Better passer.
Pure passer.
Yeah.
No question.
I think Arizona. I'm seeing him. Was he at Arizona college?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, UCLA.
UCLA. Okay.
UCLA.
Because
on the West Coast.
he looked familiar.
Wasn't he
Back up to the Green Bay, maybe.
they take him as an undrafted
I just
player?
know he's UCLA.
I know
what
one
happened.
thing. He's a good backup.
Hey, Tampa Bay 33, Buffalo 27 in overtime. The winning touchdown pass by Tom Brady was the 700th touchdown pass of his career. Buffalo, cold weather team, they rushed 12 times for the whole game. Brady might have been close to that. And 0 rushes in the first half.
They're not going to run it. They're not going to run the ball.
And they're not going to win.
They're going to win a championship.
No, they're not.
You heard me say it.
No, they're not.
Wait a minute.
No, they're
where do
not.
you rate Tampa Bay? I asked George this.
Yeah.
Where do you rate Tampa Bay?
I
bet you
rate
they're top
Tampa
2.
Bay number 2.
They just almost beat them at home.
Albert, almost doesn't mean anything in the NFL.
Buffalo almost beat them.
Almost means
Buffalo,
nothing.
it wasn't Jacksonville. It was Tampa Bay.
Almost,
gonna be,
almost means
you heard
nothing.
me say it now.
No, I heard you
Buffalo's
say
the best
it.
team.
And almost means nothing. Hey,
But you won't give me credit. I remember you were supposed to dress in an Easter
Yeah.
outfit, and you didn't
Yeah.
give me any credit.
Yeah.
And so when I tell you
Yeah.
Buffalo's going to win it, don't sit here and say,
I'm
I
gonna
think
wait.
you might have said that.
I'll wait and see. Hey,
They got to make it. You know, they have 3 easy ones, but they do go to New England. But you
Yeah.
know what? From watching that first New England game, they can win that.
Oh, for
Frisco,
sure.
Frisco defeats Cincinnati
Yeah, Frisco.
26-23 in overtime. The whole thing is bunched together quickly. Our rankings. Then we're going to, in another show, go to the last, talk about the games remaining. Our power rankings, I have Green Bay, Tampa Bay.
No, you don't have Tampa Bay number 2, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Arizona after their loss, 10-3. Then New England, Kansas City, Tennessee, Dallas. I have the Rams. I do have Buffalo in there at number 9.
Attaboy.
And fading Baltimore at 8-5. I don't even know why I put them in there.
Yeah, that's the one team that's not playing well at all.
Yeah.
I mean, at all. They're lucky they could have lost 5 in a row,
Hey,
6
still,
in a
who
row.
wants to go there?
Yeah.
Hey,
Last game, I would want to go.
The Steelers have Tennessee, Kansas City, Cleveland,
What's
and
that
Baltimore.
schedule?
Can they win 3 of them?
No.
They need to win
No.
3. And Baltimore
chance.
has Green Bay, Cincinnati, the Rams, and the Steelers. Can they win 2?
I don't know.
I'm looking
They
at
win
Cleveland
too.
there, maybe.
My Browns, it's my Browns.
That's it for us. We're out of time. We'll see you next week.
If you're a team player who loves providing excellent customer service, begin your Armstrong career as a technical support representative. We have full and part-time openings in Butler. Many of our Armstrong supervisors and managers started their careers at our customer service center, and you can too. We have open positions now starting at $17 per hour with great benefits and free broadband services. To apply, visit agoc.com/careers or call Heather today.
Your world can change in an instant. But what if this could have been avoided? With monitored smoke detectors from Guardian Protection, Our 24/7 monitoring immediately alerts you and first responders when needed, because keeping your family and home safe is our #1 priority. Life is challenging, but keeping your family safe shouldn't be. Guardian Protection. Call 1-800-PROTECT and let us protect your world.